What's going on, homies? Welcome to the Cracked Soccer Podcast, episode number 54. Yes, we forgot last week, but that's okay. MLS Week 8 is officially over. It's in the books. Messi and the boys, they're being pressed by a lot of these different teams. Can they keep their momentum and stay atop the Eastern Conference? Or will Nashville keep their foot on the gas and take the Eastern Conference and be that team that nobody thought would win? But the Western Conference, boy, is it heating up. It is so tight up there. It is like, don't let anything go, or else, you're going to have some manchas.
It's
All this,
I my only last 2 minutes.
all this, and so much more on today's episode. You're going to want to tap in. Check us out. Bang, bang.
Bang.
Dang,
Hey,
guys.
we didn't forget last week. We didn't forget.
Dude, we had an eventful week last week, dude.
There's a lot going on.
I know, man. I had my third child. Crazy. Yep.
Hat trick.
Thank you. Yep. A hat trick. Yeah, dude. I had to catch up to you. Yeah, it was a good time, man. We had her on Monday, so that obviously threw a wrench in our Monday recording. And you know how it is, man. You have a kid, and things are just kind of a little bit crazy. Had to take that week. Took the week off of work. Took the week off of this, and just kind of got settled. And things are good now. She's good. She's sleeping. She's healthy. She's eating good. Can't complain, man. How was your week? Sounds like you were pretty busy as well.
Yeah, I mean, Monday I was supposed to record, and then I got home late. I was going to record by myself, and then Tuesday I had soccer practice with my daughter. Wednesday I left to Salt Lake right after work. Thursday I stayed out there. Then I had to drive back. Busy all day Friday. And then I drove back to Salt Lake on Saturday. And then I drove back on Sunday. So for those of you who don't know, I'm about 2 hours away from my mother-in-law's house. So it's a lot of driving.
Jeez, man, you're putting some miles on that Ram.
Nah, dude, I don't take that. Heck no, dude. Have you seen diesel prices? Heck no, I'm not taking that out there, dude. I got a family car.
There you go. You got to get that hybrid. I've been looking at hybrids, man. I need a freaking hybrid. I need to freaking get one of those, man. Get like 45 miles a gallon.
Yeah,
crazy, bro.
That's still like $60, bro, for two gallons.
I know, but it's okay. It's okay. As long as it gets me to and from work as easy as good as possible, then I'm chilling, you know?
Yes, sir.
Why don't we go into a little bit of the leaderboard? I know we were off a week. We've been taking our picks. We've been picking all the games every single week. So we need to kind of get into that because we haven't had much of a update on that. So let's go into the correct leaderboard, take a look at where we're at. I'm actually very curious because I didn't think I got a lot this last week. Okay. Ooh, okay. Yeah, 63, 61. You're definitely not making it easy. So give me a rundown, dude. How did we look last week?
Oh, not this past week, but the week before, we both got 7 from my calculations. And then this past week, I'm gonna have to double check, but I believe you only got 5.
No, I believe it. I believe it.
And I actually got 7.
Dang.
Again, 2 weeks back to back 7. There was a couple games where I was, I had to trust my gut, and I've been saying it all the time, and I say it every episode where like, oh, I really thought this team was gonna win, but I got nervous, so I said nah. So yeah, let me see. You got Vancouver right, you got Miami right, Nashville,
ties up in there. That kind of
RSL and Seattle. Yeah, you got 5 this week, and I got 7. And so one of the ones that felt in my gut was, San Jose has been playing pretty well.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll be LAFC, and they did.
Yeah. Freaking hell of a game, man. I was debating that one too. I was thinking about that one, and I was thinking, man, it could happen. It could happen. But the reason I went for LAFC was because they were at BMO, and I thought there's no way. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, because for me, the other one was New England versus Columbus. And, we talked about it separately in the chat, and I was just like, the Crew's been so bad. So that's one of the ones I thought maybe the Crew will lose some points, but I decided to go with maybe an obvious one.
Mm-hmm.
But I did want to talk to you. I know I said in the group chat that I didn't realize there was a Friday game, and Vancouver won.
Mm-hmm.
So depending on what you say, the score will change.
Oh, you didn't put it in
Because
there?
I did put it in. I counted it
Okay.
for myself because I was
Yeah.
like, I feel like I wouldn't. There was no way I would
No,
have
you
picked
weren't gonna pick
Vancouver
Sporting
to
Kansas
lose.
City. Yeah.
So I put it on
No.
there, but I was like, if you don't want to count it,
No,
I'll
that's
take it
fine.
off.
No,
So
it's fine. Look, I don't think anybody would have picked Sporting Kansas City to
yeah.
be Vancouver on that one. So,
If
it is what it
Sporting
is. It's
Kansas
fine.
City won, that you wouldn't have believed it, but
Yeah, for sure. I
yeah,
wouldn't believe
okay.
that.
I was
But no,
like,
that's fine. No,
yeah.
absolutely. That's totally okay. Because, yeah, that was a crazy. I mean, it's pretty lopsided. And if you watch
Mhm.
the game, it was very one sided. So it is what it
Yeah,
is. But next time,
for sure.
get it in time, dude. Come on.
Yeah.
You gotta put
Well,
your stuff in, big dog. Come
this
on.
this league is so weird, man. Friday game, Saturday game, Wednesday game, Saturday game. I'm like, oh, let
It's
me
a
keep up. Let me
it's
catch up.
a that's why they're changing the schedule. That's why they're changing
Yeah,
it all, man. That's why they're doing what they got
I
to do,
know.
So it
Yeah.
is what it is, man. Cool. Okay, cool. So we're not too far off with the leaderboards. We're staying competitive, which is the biggest thing.
Mhm.
And we'll have games on Wednesday and Saturday this week. So plenty of points for all of us to get for the leaderboard. So I'm excited for that. Now we can kind of get into the meat of the conversation, man. So many games this last week and so many upsets. So we'll get into the correct overview. We need to have like
So I
a.
just used this to blow
I
some
had
air
one.
into it.
I had one. Salud. You got to take a drink now. Just kidding. Don't do that. So we'll kind of get into some of these games. We'll look at I guess the Friday one. We don't have to cover it too much. Vancouver did end up beating Sporting
Mhm.
Kansas City 3-0. I don't think anybody was surprised by it. I did watch a good chunk of this game, but Sporting Kansas City, bro. I mean, I think if anybody's gonna bet for them to win a game, good luck. You know what I mean? Vancouver's too good, and Kansas City's just not very good whatsoever.
Yeah, no. I mean, there's a reason I call them Kansas City, and it's not just to be funny. They're
Yeah,
just ass.
they're pretty bad, bro. So with another one, the one that I did go into a little bit was the one that I watched this upcoming weekend was Toronto versus Austin FC. This one was pretty even, to be honest. I think for the most part, when you kind of look at this game, you're probably not thinking, oh, great players, great game, all those different things. But I think Sargent is actually doing a very good job over there in Toronto and really kind of lighting a fire with these guys in Canada. It was sad, obviously. Georgi Mihailovic, I don't believe he played this game, so he was out. I believe he's still injured, right? He's still injured until early May. But the fact that he wasn't in and they still got a point from this game says a lot about this Toronto team. So I think they're pretty good. I think Josh Sargent can do a lot of things with this team, and it's making this fan base hopefully wake up a little bit, right? But an exciting
Yeah.
game to say the least. You know what I mean?
Yeah, for sure. A 3-3 draw is always exciting, That's 6 goals in total. So, I feel like I have to put a little bit more respect to Toronto. I was close to picking them,
Mm-hmm.
but I just told myself they're Toronto. So I got scared when it looked like they might possibly win. In the starting the first half, they went up 2 goals before Austin came back and made it, to which Toronto came back and tied it about
Mm-hmm.
6 minutes later. So the way I look at these games is, hey, me and Reyes, neither of us got points, so I'm happy. That's
I
how
know.
some of these games that are a bit on the lower tier of some of the games that happen throughout the weekend. That's what
Mm-hmm.
makes it exciting for me. Is like,
Yeah.
oh, am I gonna make points? Am I not?
Yeah,
So
for sure. Yeah, no, I agree, man. And something too to kind of make note, somebody that got on the score sheet this week was Christian Ramirez, the ex LA Galaxy player. He did come in like late, like the 70 something minute, and he actually got a goal for this team. I thought it was going to be the deciding goal. I thought it was going to be the winning goal. But at the end, obviously Toronto tied. So he's had 2 goals in 3 starts, 7 matches, like not too bad. But he's also just someone that I think, it's sad to see somebody like that leave a pretty solid club. But Austin FC has him now. He's
yeah.
playing pretty well. You know what I mean
Mhm.
for his age. Kind of coming toward the tail end of his career, but getting a couple goals and showing up for Austin is always a good sign. So
Yes,
maybe they needed
sir.
that goal. Maybe Galaxy needed that goal. You know what I mean? But too bad they didn't got
Mhm.
it. We did also have Montreal whooping the New York Red Bulls 4-1. Prince Owosu, bro, getting 3 assists and 1 goal in this game. Absolutely insane, man. I think it's weird because and this was another one where I was like,
Me
should I
too.
pick Montreal? But when you kind of think about the Red Bulls and how they started the year, you're like, no way, dude. Like, no way. And then now you see them losing to Montreal 4-1, dude. Like, what's going on with this Red Bull team that's just not as consistent as we thought they were going to be? You know what I mean? They lost. They've beat, they won their game in the U.S. Open. They tied to Miami. They beat, Cincinnati, and then they lose like big time to Charlotte. Like, there's just no consistency with this squad, So it's hard to decide on what you want to do with the Red Bulls up at this point in the season,
Honestly, I'm just finding this out, but before I go ahead and speak on that, I thought I might as well show this because this is actually, I believe, the second time this guy has been my cracked player of the week, Mr. Prince Owosu. As you mentioned, 3 assists and 1 goal.
Yeah.
4 goal contributions in 1 game is insane.
Yeah.
And maybe this is a sign for us to start doing a little bit more research because I'm gonna ask you this question, Reyes. Do you know how many times Montreal has won this season?
This season?
Yeah. How many games?
They've either done 2 or 3, I think.
Okay, I'll tell you it's 2.
That's 2?
One of them was against Red Bull this past week.
Mm-hmm.
And guess who the other team that they beat?
I think it was the other time that you did the what's it called? The correct player, but I think it was Cincy?
Nope.
But I don't know.
Their 2 wins this season have both been against the New York Red Bulls.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. I'm like, we need to do our research because they won 3-0 that game, and they win 4-1 this game. That's 7-1 in aggregate in their 2 games that they're meeting this season. So,
dude, that's wild.
Maybe because like you said, I was like, you know what, New York Red Bulls has been good, a little inconsistent, but compared to Montreal's consistency of losing, you would have taken the New York Red Bulls to win this game. But for whatever reason, the New York Red Bulls cannot get past Montreal because that's 2 games this season and both losses. So crazy.
Yeah, that is pretty nuts, man. And when you kind of look at their head-to-head, Montreal has 14 wins against the Red Bulls, and the Red Bulls have 16. So it's actually a pretty tight race for a head-to-head matchup. So it looks like these two guys are kind of, they battle it out when they play. So that's very cool to see. So, we definitely have to look into that a little bit more. History has to be looked into for sure. But, hats off to Montreal, man, getting a win. Another win against the Red Bulls. And then going into the next game, we did have Colorado versus Inter Miami. Big game, bro, versus Inter Miami. Had Messi and the boys sweating a little bit, I think. So 3-2 win for Inter Miami. It was in Colorado and Mile High. So 75,000 folks showed up to this game. I don't know if you saw the game, but there was a lot of pink.
Game.
Yeah, there's a lot of pink in the crowd.
There's always going to be a lot of pink in the crowd, I'm sorry to say.
What do you think, man? I mean, I'm 2-3. I don't think it was a scoreline where you think, oh, sure, it makes sense. I think it's one of those things where you look and you're like, oh, damn, Miami almost lost. But what are your overall thoughts on this game?
Okay, you ready? I feel like I always rant when it comes to Inter Miami, but Inter Miami should go to Messi's house, every Inter Miami fan, and just thank him that he's on this team because I don't know how they're this bad. Like, I watch enough Inter Miami to be able to tell when they're playing bad, and like you said, they should have won this game a bit more convincingly than they did. They obviously came and won 3-2 with not kind of a last minute goal, 10 minutes left in the game. So, and then if you're watching the game, they got a lot. Colorado was having so much momentum going into the last 10 minutes after that goal. And what's his name? St. Clair is horrible, dude. I don't know what happened. I don't want to blame it just on him, but like he's not getting that many chances taken on him. Let me look real quick. They had 14 shots, 4 on target, and yeah, I don't know. I just feel like his decision making has been really bad. Obviously, he's changed to a new team, so there's going to be some growing pains going into this team, but that's not really what you want from a goalkeeper. I feel at this point with how bad he's been playing, I might even, go out and say like, hey, bench him and put Rios Novos back in.
Yeah.
Just because of how bad he's been playing, Inter Miami should have won this a little bit. It's the defense. Look at this. Yeah. They went 2-0 into the half. In 62, in 4 minutes, they scored 2 goals. And then you need Messi to come in and score a banger. So I don't know what they need to do. Mascherano's out as most people might know. So maybe that's going to come with a little bit of growing pains as well, but they need to get it figured out here ASAP because they're not playing too well. Luckily, they're still second, but
yeah, no, that's true. I mean, I guess that kind of begs the question, right? Is this trouble in paradise now? Javier Mascherano out, right? From what I can see, it's personal reasons. So not giving exactly what is the reason for his, leave. And clearly he's going to do that. He's not going to, say anything too crazy to kind of put anybody under pressure or, give anything away that the club's trying to do, right? But I think it begs the question, right? Is the Miami Dream team, is it starting to crack under some of the pressure? Is it starting to crack a little bit where, they're playing teams like Colorado and things are been way tighter than they should be? Are they starting to crack to where they can't really turn to a Herman Berterame to kind of, come in and score a couple goals when they still have that Messi dependency, right?
yeah.
If you're asking me, dude, these guys, their forwards are not going to play defense. You know what I mean? Their defense is pretty bad. St. Clair, was a great keeper last season. He's arguably doing much worse this season, not really kind of showing up as much as he should be, still making some saves, still doing what he's got to do. But, I think he has a lot of pressure on himself because there's really no defense from the midfield up. You know what I mean? So I think it's starting to get a little dicey. You don't have to worry about the CONCACAF Champions Cup. They will have to worry about the World Cup coming up. But I think they're starting to crumble just a little bit here with a lot of the pressure that they have from the fan base and from leadership. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It becomes hard for Berterame to score goals when players aren't even looking to pass to their striker. They're looking to pass to Messi to pass to them. Last year it worked because they had somebody like Busquets in the midfield who's composed when there's pressure coming. I do like the midfield for Miami. I feel like they've been playing very well, especially Bright. But
with a red card, by the way, in this game.
Yeah, he got a red card. And St. Clair, I don't know what he needs to do. Maybe he needs to take some time off and think about it a little bit because, yeah, like you said, and everybody knows this, it's been the same issue since last year and probably even the year before that. Inter Miami just does not have good defenders.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way I would describe it is Barcelona is going to score a lot of goals and they're going to get scored on a lot. If anybody watches Barcelona, that they play a very high line, that happens.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately for St. Clair, he's just been playing really bad. I think it's with the winning goalie of the year last year, moving to Miami, having these high expectations, and then not only that, but then going into the World Cup here in like less than 2 months. He probably has a lot going on, so he needs to lock in, boy. Lock in.
Lock in, man. They got a big game coming up that we'll get into a little bit more later on in the game or in the episode. But, at the end of the day, they got the 3 points. They did what they had to do against Colorado. But I think everybody's seen now Miami can bleed. And if they need to go down, they can go down. So it'll be interesting to watch.
Sir.
Next couple games here that we're kind of going into that we kind of saw. We don't have to get into. Nashville ended up beating Atlanta 2-1. That puts Atlanta, I believe, in the wooden spoon race officially, if it weren't already. I believe they've only won. How many points do they have? 4 points.
They've won one game.
Yeah, one game. Currently have 4 points, so not a strong start again for Atlanta. But Nashville staying atop the Eastern Conference. Congratulations to them. But they're a strong team. I think they'll be, very, very good moving forward.
Yep.
We had a high tying game, Cincinnati versus Chicago, 3-3. This one was won, I think. Yep, it was an own goal at the very end, around the 86th minute, that drew the game for Cincinnati. So it's weird to see Cincinnati not win so many games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, it was Chicago. Chicago's a pretty decent team, but it's just so weird to see these guys not be, competing at a much higher level than they already are. So it was the Saturday night showdown with these guys this past weekend. But, in terms of the table with both of these teams, Chicago's in 4th, Cincinnati's in 10th. Weird to see Cincinnati not be higher than that. So
yes, sir.
Columbus losing to the New England Revolution. You mentioned this was one of the games where you were debating going the other way. What's going on with Columbus, bro? I mean, you have Arfston scoring the only goal in this game. I don't know. I don't know what to say about the Columbus Crew because they're such a strong team, and it's almost like they need to go back and get the coach that they fired that went to Celtic
Mm-hmm.
and blew up over
Yeah,
there. Maybe they got to
Nancy.
re-sign him, bro. Maybe they need to get Nancy back up in here and make them kind of figure some stuff out because they played at Gillette, a 68,000 seat stadium, and they had 60,000 people go. So not a lot of people excited for both New England and Columbus, but I don't know what's going on, bro. Columbus is in trouble, I think.
I think some people might say hell is real in Ohio right now, right?
For sure.
Cincinnati and Columbus are both bad, I'm going to say. Chicago is a good team. I'm going to go look at Cincinnati real quick. I know we were talking about the Crew, but I just wanted to, just point out how bad Cincinnati has been and tying these games that they should be losing. Columbus over here, what was it? How long has it been since they won the title? 3 years now?
Mm.
3 years on? I think it was in 24 when they won. 24 or 23. Let me see. Give me
I
one
don't
quick
remember. It
second.
might have been.
It was 23. So yeah, 3 years from winning the MLS Cup to now being a bottom tier team. 1 win, 3 draws, 4 losses for the Crew this year. I don't know what's going on. I jump in and out of For the Crew's podcast TikTok lives, and the one that I was in, everybody kept basically saying what you were saying, like, oh, Nancy needs to come back or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know what it is. The Crew win, their ass. The LA Galaxy wins, their ass. Inter Miami wins, their second. But for the team that they have, their ass. I'm not gonna lie. They're winning games, but
Yeah.
they're only winning games because they literally have the best player in the history of the game winning them these games. Because if he
Yeah.
wasn't there, they wouldn't be winning.
For sure.
So I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a title curse, but yeah, the Crew needs to figure it out, and they need to figure it out ASAP.
Yeah.
So maybe the hell is real derby won't be as exciting this year. Maybe we'll get like a 0-0 draw or something with the way these guys are playing. But
yeah, not a lot of excitement around those two teams for sure than what people are used to. So I'm sure it'll be exciting either way. But yeah, not the title race rivalry that we're all expected. So going into the next one, we did have Charlotte beating New York City 2-1. Bit of an interesting win for Charlotte there, just given that New York City has been so strong this season. And it also looks like New York City, I mean, they basically held the entire game for this one. They had 22 total shots, 64% possession, and so they were playing very well. But at the end of the day, you got to score goals, man. You got to get it done. So Charlotte did, but they also kept a lot of shots out. So for my correct player of the week, nobody else other than, I want to say it's Cristian Kalina, the goalie for Charlotte FC. Christian. I know it sounds like Christian. I just want to say Christian. The guy had 6 or 7 saves. Yes, they got a goal on him, but it is what it is. But one of the crazy things about this stat for this team and for Kalina in general is he's actually had, I believe this is his 3rd consecutive game or road match with he has 7 saves for the 3rd consecutive road match this season. Three games where he's literally saved their ass and essentially kept them in the game. So the guy's been balling out. He's been doing what he has to do to kind of keep this team alive. Yes, they've beaten New York City. They lost to Nashville, but they've won some other games against like the Red Bulls and Philadelphia. So they're obviously doing what they have to do to get some wins. They may be scrappy, but they're 3rd place in the Eastern Conference. So hats off to them. I also noticed something too that I wanted to mention. I don't know if you saw this, but somebody mentioned on social media that Zaha posted a picture of like, hey, I loved Charlotte. This place is so cool. I'm going to miss it. And they were like, I'm going to miss it. What does that mean? So somebody started speculating, I believe it was on Reddit and a couple other places, that that might have been giving a little hint of like, hey, Charlotte, I'm leaving.
Yeah.
Did you see that? Have you seen that? Have you heard of
I
it?
didn't see that, but I saw something that was, I believe his girlfriend, wife, whatever, his significant other was, maybe that's the one, but was it her or was it him that posted it? Because I swear she said it's been nice or whatever, only a couple more weeks in Charlotte or something like that. But I
I
saw
don't know.
something
Maybe.
in that. I saw something along those lines as well. So
Maybe. I don't know. It might have been his significant other. I'm not sure. For some reason, I thought it was him, but I mean, you could be right. Wilfred Zaha, Charlotte see Mold the Future, Bright Lights, Apple, 10 years of Wilfred Zaha. I'm not sure, but what
here,
I'm
I'm gonna screen share this with you real quick because this is
yeah.
what I saw.
Okay, let's see.
It's where is it? It says his wife's story. She says, "OMG, only a month and a bit left in
Yes, that
Charlotte.
one.
I've enjoyed my time here." So she's the one that posted it.
Okay. I mean, yeah, maybe that one doesn't look as much as like, hey, he's probably going to leave.
Yeah.
I think Charlotte's one of those teams where they want really good players, and Zaha's a great player. I'm not saying he's not, but they want these great top-notch players, and so many people are just not wanting to go to Charlotte. I just don't think it has that appeal to people that in the players that they're going after, and people just don't want to go there. So I don't know what it is. I think they're a great club, great team, probably great front office. Like they do a very good job of games. They have some pretty good hype. I just don't know why people don't want to go there. And if people are leaving already, like, damn, dude, I thought this was like a good squad to stay in, but who knows?
Yeah.
You know?
And it looks like a decent city. I've never been, So
Mhm.
yeah, I mean they've been a pretty decent team throughout the
Yeah,
years. They haven't won anything from when they've been in
yeah,
the league, but they haven't been a bad team. I feel like they're a consistently decent team.
yeah, for sure. No, I agree. But we'll keep tabs on them. Hats off for them for beating New York City FC, very good team. So that's a big time win for them in the Eastern Conference. We also had Orlando losing to Houston 1-0. Houston finally getting a win against Orlando. I do believe Hector Herrera was the one who scored the game winner in this one. So hats off to him getting on the score sheet. And they did have Arthur returning from injury. So, that was another one where I thought there was no way Houston was going to win, and they did. We also had the Ass Bowl, Philly versus DC United. It ended in a 0-0 draw, bro. Like, I mean, 17 shots for Philly, 6 shots for DC United, 0-0. I mean, I'm pissed off if I bought a ticket to this game.
Why would you buy a ticket for that game in the first place? Come on.
It's probably like $30, bro. Even if it was $30, I would have been
Subaru
pissed.
Park. Where is that?
That's in Philly.
Philly?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. 6 shots for DC United, 0 on target. 17 for Philly, and 4 on target. So they each had one big chance and one big chance missed.
Not exciting.
You couldn't pay me to go watch this game. You know?
Yeah.
I believe the first they played already once before, and Ty Baribo scored the only goal that game.
Oh, that's
won,
right. I think you're right.
Because
I think you're right.
He scored against Philly.
Let me
So
see
yeah,
here.
see February 1st, with the 1-0, Ty Baribo scored.
Wow, that's
So
exciting.
yeah, so they played 2 games and 1 goal in between both games. So I don't know what to say, man. DC has been consistently bad for the last couple years. Philly should not be in this position, but they put themselves in there, so I'm not gonna feel bad about it.
Yep. At the end of the day, sorry if you went to this game. Hopefully next time it's a bit of a better game. We also had FC Dallas taking on LA Galaxy. A surprise for me, a surprise tie from my perspective. Dallas tying against LA Galaxy. Galaxy coming back, late in the first half to tie this game up. So that was pretty cool to see. I don't know about you, bro, but I'm so glad I have Peter Musa on my fantasy league. Homeboy has been balling out, dude. You know how many points he got me in fantasy this week? By the way, did you
Not as
remember
much
to
as
set your
Messi.
thing? Dude, I had him at,
I did.
well, the thing
I
is that
set mine.
I had him as my captain. So
Me too. I always have Messi as my captain.
I
I did remember to set up my lineups. I forgot what day it was, but I was looking at it and I'm like, hey, let me set this up because I go in and I'm always complaining, which I'm going to complain again because I set my lineup before this stuff happened and I put Ferreria in and the games hadn't even started yet and they didn't count him in there.
the
I
heck?
still won because the other guy didn't do his thing.
Hmm.
Still.
Do you have any SP? Have you ranked at all? Doing this
I don't
whole,
think
like, have
so.
you been doing these challenges?
I haven't.
I finally got to rookie 3. I have 100 SP. Dude, I'm getting there, dude. I'm doing what I got to do. I just join every challenge. I just always do it. Let me what I was saying was Musa got me, I got a win. He had 456 points.
For how many?
6.
Yeah, see, Messi got more.
Really? As your
Yeah.
captain, what do you get?
Yeah, he got 462.
It's 8 points.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Oh, just kidding. 426. I lied to you. I got
Musa.
my numbers mixed
The
up. I'm
Musa
dyslexic.
is coming. Yeah, dude, Musa was freaking balling, dude. He was freaking good. I've had him on my fantasy for a minute.
Hmm.
He's been tearing it up, dude. But yeah, again, so very surprised for FC Dallas getting this tie. They're sitting seventh. I think they're a much better team than seventh in the Western Conference, but
Hmm.
the Western Conference is very competitive right now, so that makes sense. Galaxy with 9 points now, so that was a big time withdrawal for them. Kind of getting them a little bit out of that. Rut at the very bottom of the Western Conference. Still haven't seen the best, outing from Galaxy, but there's still time. People are probably not happy about them not being a contender right now, but we'll see what happens with them, in the next coming weeks,
Hmm.
and then after the World Cup. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah. I've seen a lot of fans mad about the Galaxy online for sure. COC
Yeah,
being one of the main ones I
yeah,
keep seeing complaining about it. But honestly, this game, I feel like this game, you get the 2 points and you go in, they make sure to not go down going into the second half, and they hold on to the the. So I feel like this is a win, and I keep picking the LA Galaxy to win these games because I feel like they're a good team. I don't know what it is, but they just need to like lock in and do whatever they need to do because they lost to Toluca 4-2, but I feel like they had a
mm,
really good game against them.
yeah,
Obviously, they go on and lose 3-0 the next game against
yeah,
them, but I don't know. I feel like they're not the worst team
yeah.
this season, but like you
No,
said,
yeah,
Western Conference is very,
stacked, congested,
yes.
all of the
There's
things.
like yeah, they're gonna have a hard time, but hey, they're only 3 points, 2 points away from being a play-in contender. So
Mm,
the season's not over. They just need to figure something out. And with Paintsel being back, I hope that adds a little bit more dimension to them, so they're not just playing it to the right side to Peg to play it to
yeah.
Klaus. They Royce has somebody to pass to on either side of the field and can make plays. So
Yeah. No, for sure. I think it just lies again with their defense. The way that I see it, their defense just continues to struggle. They
mhm.
had Harper Miller come in late, and he'd had a pretty decent,
Yeah.
finish of the game. I think Yoshida needs to go. I
He
think,
should have. He should have been gone. If I'm being honest with
yeah,
you, if you don't have money to buy players, dude, like you guys definitely have money to have a good academy, and
yes,
you're literally in California, one of the biggest states in the U.S. There's definitely more than enough players there. I mean, look at Diego Luna. He came from California.
hmm
You know, you
yeah,
just they. I feel like they're the Galaxy. They're the Madrid of the MLS, where
hmm
they're reliant on buying players, but they're the Madrid of the MLS with the budget of Barcelona. Like you can't
yep,
be both. So you got
yep.
to
It's
figure it
true.
out.
That's a good way to put it. Yeah, exactly. I think it would be very interesting to see them bring somebody up.
Hmm.
And if they do, hopefully they do well, man. You never know. You guys have so many resources to you. Why don't you get a little bit more creative and start to kind of do something
Hmm.
differently for this team and see if you can win some games, So
Yeah.
we'll see what happens with the Galaxy. Minnesota getting a win against Portland 2-0. And then let's get into the big one here. Real Salt Lake versus San Diego FC. RSL beating San Diego 4-2, man.
Bro.
Crazy big dog. Like,
Oh.
here's the thing. I picked them to win.
Hmm.
I I see
Literally, same.
I see something in RSL which is very interesting and very exciting to see. The fact that we see San Diego though, bro, like
Bro,
wild.
I had them winning as well. Did I expect them to dominate and destroy San Diego as bad as they did? No. I was expecting maybe like a one goal win. I believe it was last year they went up 2-0 or something against San Diego and they lost 3-2 if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
So I was thinking, it might be a close game, but within 6 minutes of the game they were already up 2-0. And they went into the half up 4-1. They held on to the lead and Dreyer converted a penalty in the 66th minute, but this Solanas guy, dude,
Yes,
he's
Solans.
Solans, yeah, dude, he's been playing
Yeah,
lights out. He
Sergi
had
Solans.
a goal against their draw back in March, a
Mm,
goal against Sporting Kansas City, and then this game he had 2 goals and an assist. So in his
wow.
last 5 games, he has what is this? 5 goals
Hmm.
and 1 assist. 23-year-old coming out of Spain, young team headed by Diego Luna, who is also a young guy, 22
Mm-hmm.
years of age is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
This team is very exciting, and I'm just glad that I called them out as my dark horse starting the
Yeah.
season because I don't know what's going on, but they're playing really good to the
Yeah.
point where I think we'll get into it later, but they might be winning midweek,
Yeah.
and I might be picking them to win midweek.
Yeah. They look good, man. And the crazy thing about this one is they press. I watched
Hmm.
most of this game. Their
Yeah.
press is so hard. They press. They press that whole game. It was exciting to watch. It was super cool to watch, and I loved watching them. Press. They have younger guys. They have legs. They obviously can go the distance. I think it gets a little bit dicey and a little bit nerve wracking when there is a counter, which is what happened
Yeah.
with San Diego's goal. There was a counter, and then you kind of get back,
Yeah.
and you had Lean, Glad, and Engel playing in the back. Like that's where you're gonna lose, to be honest with you, and that's what happened. But their press is very strong. The one thing I'll say for this is the press is great. That's obviously how they had that first goal. Diego Luna pressing their goalkeeper Farid, and obviously off that pass, like just getting that goal, like dude, way to
That's
hustle. You know what I mean? But I don't know if you noticed if you watched the game towards the end of the second half, towards the end of the game, you start to see some of these guys get a little bit winded, which is why they had so many subs. Right? You have Hezerkani coming in, Olatuji coming in, Zach Booth coming in. Like you have a lot of people trying to get gas, starting to get gassed. That's where I'm going to say careful, RSL. You know what I mean? Because you have a great attack, you have a great press, and I love that everybody plays defense on this team. But I'll be honest, and I'll be the first to say it. Your back three, because of the way that they play offensively, they're going to play like a 3-5, whatever is up top. Yedlin, Glad, and Engel, they're not good. I'm sorry. You can hate me for it. You can say whatever you want. They're not good. They're not a
yeah.
great back three, and they're not very fast. Against an Inter Miami, against an LAFC, against the San Jose, with very, very quality players up top, they're going to get beat every time.
Yeah.
So that's the only thing. But again, RSL's a very good team. I love the press.
I don't know what kind of drugs they give to people in Europe. I feel like you watched the Barca game against Atletico Madrid, the second
Yeah.
leg, and that's how they play every single game. Like you think
Yeah.
they just play like that because they were gonna get eliminated, but they literally play like that. Constant pressing, constant high line. And I feel like RSL, if they're gonna be playing like that, they need to get their conditioning up. But you also have to be careful because in the same aspect, if you watch Barcelona, they have a lot of injuries like Rafinha, Koundé, these players because there's just so much running, so much pressing. So you got to make sure you have that depth to be able to maintain that.
Yeah.
But if they play as well as they did against San Diego towards the end of the season, I'm not going to say throughout the entire season, but
Right.
towards the end of the season, once it matters, this I can see RSL going very far. So hopefully they do, it adds more games to us out here in Utah.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, shout out to RSL, man. That's
Yeah. The
crazy.
hell of a performance for sure. But no, I totally agree with everything you're saying. Let's not get too crazy. Let's kind of keep guys, at wrap. And then also what I've seen is like just don't be in a rush. Like
Yeah.
ping the ball around, keep possession, maintain the ball, because every time I feel like they get the ball, I'm like, yes, you want to go score. Let's go score. But like you don't see it yet, relax. You know what I mean? Like hold the ball for a minute.
Yeah.
So that's all I see. But hats off to them getting a big time win against San Diego. Love to see it. It's going to be exciting moving forward. Seattle beat the St. Louis 4-1. Obviously, no surprise there. And then the big one, brother. Another big time game on Sunday, dude. LAFC falling to San Jose Earthquakes 4-1. Dude, did you see the owner, the GM of LAFC in this game? So they had a picture. I was watching the game. They pan over to him, to the guy, the owner of LAFC, and
Yeah.
homeboy's like, I think it was LAFC or San Jose. I forget who it was. I believe it was LAFC. But homeboy was in the rafts. Like he was on top of the stadium. Yeah, it was the LAFC guy. He was on top of the stadium. It's like looking down at this game, just thinking, how are we losing 3-0 against San Jose? And I was like, that is the craziest. That's the perfect image of like what the hell happened this game.
Yeah.
Who would have thought that San Jose would beat these guys 4-1?
Honestly, this game has been, or not this game, This game is crazy. But what was it? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Or sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7 games without conceding. 7 games
Uh,
without conceding a goal, and in their last two MLS games, they've conceded 5.
yeah,
So
but
it's
with the other one, it wasn't with what's his face in goal with Lloris against
which
Portland.
one? Portland? Lourdes wasn't in goal.
Mm-mm.
Oh,
So
okay, Hassel.
technically, Lloris got scored on for the first time this game, but he got scored
Four
on 4
times.
times.
Yeah, but basically all I'm saying is LAFC, I kind of said this. I'm like, it's going to catch up to them. I wasn't expecting it to catch up to them this quick. I'm not saying their season's over, obviously. That'd be dumb of me to say. It's LAFC.
Yeah,
And San Jose's just a great team. They've
yeah,
literally only lost once this season. They're right next to Vancouver. So it's not like, oh dang it, like, we lost to a trash team. No, they lost to one of the best teams in the Western Conference currently. And it's I'm like speechless because they honestly got lucky to even make it into the CONCACAF Champions Cup into the next round.
yeah.
They went into penalties and they won. But yeah, I think they'll turn it around the midweek this week against Colorado. You would hope so. But yeah, no, this game is insane. I did pick San Jose to win again.
Dang.
Similar to the RSL game though, I was kind of expecting a closer game. Maybe like a one goal win, and
Yeah,
I was
same.
kind of risking it because I was gonna pick LAFC, but I'm like, with the way San Jose has been playing, I could see them maybe pulling out a 3-2 win, and I wasn't
Right.
expecting a 4-1 win, but I'll take it. So,
Yeah,
yeah,
for
shout
real.
out to these guys. I did want to mention the fact that I feel like Sun hasn't had the best season. Am I crazy to say that?
No, he
He
has
has
not.
he has 6 assists this season, but if you think about it, 4 of those were from one game. So he
Hmm.
hasn't been doing very much. So
Yeah, no, and he
hopefully,
he did have a big chance too that he missed
uh,
this last game. So
yeah,
I totally understand where you're coming from.
yeah,
Not the best showing for him, but again, he's Son. It's
hmm
LAFC. No need to sound the alarm, but quite a crazy,
I
like you
think,
said, crazy
yeah,
game.
crazy game. I just feel like Sun's being affected by the fact that Spurs are going to be relegated. His mind's just not in the game right now. So I think that's what it is.
Dude, I know there's the freaking Premier League is so wild right now, dude. That's just insane.
Yeah.
Solid stuff, man. So yeah, there was a lot of good games this last week. We have so many games coming up this week. I want to get into some of these so that we're not, we're not caught off guard with some of this. So for those of you that don't know, no CONCACAF Champions Cup games this week. That'll resume next week with I believe the semifinals, which we should have. I think LAFC's in and
Nashville. Nashville's in for sure.
Nashville. Nashville. Let me see. I'm
Yeah.
just gonna just to kind of have this on here, like CONCACAF Champions Cup. Yeah, we do have
Nashville,
LAFC.
Tigres, Toluca,
Yeah.
LAFC.
Yep. Exactly. So those will be next week. We'll cover that stuff. When those come around. Should be some exciting games there. But we have games on Wednesday and then again on Saturday for the MLS. So let's get into some of these really quickly before we kind of end this. Let me bring this up. Bada bang, bada boom. And let's take a look at this. Let's just get into the meat and the potatoes now, dude. I mean, we have
Let's
Real
talk
Salt
about
Lake. Yeah, dude. Real Salt Lake against Inter Miami on Wednesday at 7:30 in the state of Utah. Hey, if anybody listening to this, if you don't want your tickets, hit me up. I'll go. I'll go cheer on RSL because you already know there's going to be a lot of pink jerseys out there.
Yes, sir.
So big time game for Real Salt Lake playing Inter Miami here in the city of Utah. It's gonna be some hype, man. It's gonna be a lot of people going to this game. It's gonna be very exciting. Obviously, RSL is doing very well this season. They're 5-4-1. Messi and the boys are sorry, no, they're not 5. They are, what are they right now? They're 7-5-1, and then we have Inter Miami as 8-4-3. Sorry, I'm messing this up, dude. RSL's 5-1-1, and Inter Miami is 4-3-1. So
hmm
only one more win than Inter Miami that Real Salt Lake has. When you kind of look at this, yes, this is probably the game that everybody's going to be looking at. Everybody's going to be watching. Messi's for sure going to come to this game because it's a very high profile game. But from what we saw what did you have up, DraftKings? What did you have?
BetMGM.
BetMGM has the RSL boys over there. They have them winning, favored by not much, about what, 40, 35 or so.
35. Yeah.
So very good. And then the over under 3.5. So they're thinking at least 3 to 4 goals in this game. What are you thinking, man? How do you kind of see this one going in for Wednesday?
You know me. You know how I feel about Inter Miami. This is hard for me. I'm not gonna lie. I've said it before as your resident RSL Miami fan, as I've been clowned on online for. Inter Miami has not looked good. They have got into games where they should be winning and they either crawl out with the draw, like they get lucky to get the draw against Colorado. I would say they got lucky to win that game. And RSL has been playing so well that it's honestly got me thinking they might win this game on Wednesday. I'm not gonna commit to anything just yet.
It's Monday, dude. What are you talking about?
But I'm still gonna go with Miami.
This guy. Listen. This is why Real Salt Lake's going to win this game. RSL presses so hard. If they can do the exact same thing that they did against San Diego to this Inter Miami team, they have a very good chance. Inter Miami does not like to play defense. Their midfield up is not playing the best defense whatsoever. And this defense for Inter Miami is going to have a lot to do this game. And for the third reason, it's actually going to be really warm. It's not going to be cold tomorrow, or actually on Wednesday.
Supposedly it's supposed to be snowing on Wednesday.
Ooh, so you know what?
At least out here.
The altitude's going to get them. I think the altitude gets them a little bit. They're obviously playing in Miami a lot. They're playing at sea level. They're going to come up here to the mountains. It might get a little bit tough for them. It might get a little cold.
Did they play last year when it snowed and they still beat them? Can't remember.
I don't know. I mean, they did just play in Colorado, so maybe they're staying out here and getting acclimated. So maybe that's what they're doing. So maybe it's not too big of a deal. But I do think Real Salt Lake will win this game. I'm going to go with RSL winning and beating Inter Miami on Wednesday. I'm having them win. They're going to win by 3. They'll win them. They'll beat them by 3.
They're going to beat Miami by 3.
Yeah. Give it to me however you want. Through whatever you want to call it. RSL's winning by 3. No. That's my guess.
I'm gonna pick Miami winning, but they're only gonna win by 1. I don't think it'll be. I don't know. We'll see. I put too much faith in Messi. Like I said, Inter Miami can play as bad as they're playing, and Messi just comes in and does something and wins them the game, and that's sort of what I'm betting on at this point. But yeah. I will not be surprised if RSL wins. I already said I do have a feeling they're gonna win, but
I know, but that's just covering your butt, bro. Just commit.
I'm more loyal to Messi than I am to Real Salt Lake.
Okay,
I
apologize,
guys.
There you go.
Hey,
okay,
I committed.
Okay. It is what it is. Honestly, that's probably the best game on Wednesday. Probably nothing too crazy after that one. You do have, New York City FC playing Cincinnati, which could be pretty good. But again, New York City's been playing pretty well since he's been a little bit of a rut, but that could be a good game. LAFC Colorado, that could also be a little bit interesting, just given that Colorado's actually a pretty decent team. San Jose against Austin, not terrible matchup there. So that's pretty much for the Wednesday game. Saturday, we'll probably make a separate video for these guys for the weekend. Mm-hmm. But maybe we look at, I don't know if anything stands out to you on Saturday, but on Saturday,
there's not much on there besides another ass bowl with Philly and the Crew.
Yeah, for sure. That's always a fun one to look at, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I will say this, on Saturday, April 25th, I will be interested to see how Montreal faces New York City. They will be in Canada. Could be an interesting matchup because Montreal has shown to, show a little bit of life against pretty good teams. The New York teams. So that'll be interesting to see. And then I am looking at the ones kind of a little bit in the later window. Seattle versus FC Dallas could be pretty interesting. I still think Dallas is probably one of those dark horse teams where they can, they're a lot better than what they look like on the table. So that could be an interesting game for me. And then on Sunday, I think we have one Sunday game. Yeah, on Sunday we have LA Galaxy versus Real Salt Lake. So,
yes,
not too much.
Yeah,
so
crazy. I feel like these teams, they don't have any like top tier teams playing against each other right now. There's
Yeah.
some exciting games, obviously, but yeah, we'll
Right.
see how it
Yeah.
goes.
Yeah, for sure. It'll be interesting to see what these guys do, like going into like the World Cup and then coming back from the World Cup. I think everything will just kind of go crazy. So we'll probably
Yeah.
make a separate video on some of these upcoming matches. One of those things where hopefully we can kind of start looking at some of the gambling websites and maybe start doing some picks. We're in the state of Utah, so it's kind of hard because we don't
Yeah.
allow gambling, which sucks because we like to gamble.
I
So if
don't.
any, well, we like to look at sports books. We don't like to gamble. But if anyone knows of one for soccer, let us know. Don't forget to set your lineups on Kickbase also because that's coming up on Wednesday. That'll be a big one.
Ooh, true.
So set them now. But other than that, man, I mean, I think we're pretty much good to go. I think what we'll do a little video for the weekend games. Next week we'll cover CONCACAF Champions Cup as well as I believe the sporting director for the U.S. men's national team left, which would be a pretty good headline to kind of cover a little bit. I'll do a little more research, kind of get us ready for that one. But for the most part, man, that's pretty much it. Any final thoughts going into the Wednesday games and like a doubleheader week for MLS? Anything that you're kind of itching to say and mention right now?
No, not much. Just you may see me standing at the RSL game. I don't know yet.
Dude, maybe we do a little live stream of like, hey, we're too poor to afford these tickets that are being
So we're
price gouged.
We're gonna watch the game on freaking Wednesday.
There you go.
I don't think I've ever paid over $300, which is what the tickets are right now for anything in my life to watch
for like
anything.
an event. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the most I've paid was like 100 and something for El Clásico in New York.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
This is price gouging at its best, people. What can we say? Anyways, cool. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Lots that we covered today. Plenty of games on Wednesday and a Saturday of this week. So stay tuned. We'll have some pretty good stuff coming out for all of that. But again, thank you so much for tuning in. Give us a like, follow, subscribe on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, all the above. So appreciate y'all. Thank you so much for tuning in. Peace.
See you.